I get that all the time.
Well, that's okay. I have Irish, I have Italian in my background. So we welcome you here, and thanks for coming on here. It's not often we pass by Penn State Beaver on a regular basis. You go to the Turners up there, or the center stage, that area, Bowser's and all that, and there's Penn State Beaver. You've been educating students from this area for how many years now? Penn State Beavers. Anybody know?
Well, we've been around since 1965.
There you go. Yeah. And it's a wonderful campus up there. Just recently, didn't you fix or you were doing some kind of construction on the stage area up front?
Yeah, we renovated the campus entrance, and that is still an ongoing project. It's not completely done. Now we have a more visible area for the campus farm.
Campus farm?
Yes.
Well, Penn State, Maine is all about agriculture, right?
Yes.
That's
That's right.
It's a big major there. So now you're bringing that into Beaver County?
Yeah, so we have a small campus farm that's run by our biology program. And so students learn how to engage in sustainable farming. We produce vegetables, fruit, and flowers. And so we sell them back to the Penn State Beaver community. But we also donate bouquets and produce to food pantries, and then also we send bouquets to some of the medical centers for clients.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah.
I should have known that because, in fact, I just had Lindsay Flower on this morning from the Extension Office, Penn State Extension.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I have regular guests on to talk about horticulture and not farming, but gardening programs. So
Yeah.
they've been a great resource for us here through the Master Gardener program.
They are, and we're starting to partner more with them. Right now we just submitted a Department of Conservation and Natural Resources grant to start to transition some of our turf, our grass, to meadows. And so we're hoping to build a living lab so people in the county can come and see how that's done, how to transform your own grass into natural meadows that are more sustainable. And so there'll be signage and walkways through it. So it'll be a teaching lab and then open to the public for walking too.
I was going to say, because you're kind of inviting people onto the campus.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Can you send any of those people to my house? I could use some professionals to come in and take care of my lawn.
I know. Our lawns are really beautiful, but they take a lot of work to maintain. Yes.
Especially here in western Pennsylvania. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But so that's exciting going forward.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background, CAREY.
So before I came here to Penn State, I was at Kent State where I was a professor of art. And I, as a professor, had an amazing amount of support to follow my passion. As a faculty member, I taught studio art. And I just had an incredible amount of support from leadership and other faculties to pursue my passions and share them with students. And when I looked at administration, I thought, I want to do that for other faculty too. I want to follow in those footsteps. And so I started looking into administrative roles. And when this position came up, I thought, this is such a lovely small campus that has all of the excellence of Penn State University, but it has a small liberal arts setting where students get incredible individual attention. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to support all the faculty and staff at a small institution like that?
Wonderful. And you come from Connecticut originally, born and raised in Connecticut.
I do.
And then you came to Carnegie Mellon University.
Yes, yeah.
Spent 3 years in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I feel like Western PA is kind of in my blood. I feel like whenever I look at houses that I like, it's always the architecture from Pittsburgh, from like Squirrel Hill, that is somehow integrated into my DNA now for what I like for architecture. So I feel like I cut my teeth in Pittsburgh a little bit. I was there from when I was 18 to 21. And so the whole area grew on me. And of course, I've seen it change so much. But in Connecticut, I grew up in a small town. And so Beaver County is perfect for me. I love the small town. I'm really engaged in, I'm the chair of the Planning Commission for the Beaver Borough. I'm the chair of the advisory board for the Corporation for Economic Development in the county.
Okay.
So I really enjoy being part of a small town, in conjunction, of course, with being part of the small campus.
Just recently, this morning actually, on my show, we were talking about Lance Grable,
Yes.
who is now going to be the new
Yes.
president, executive of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, we're so excited to partner with him in the chamber through the Corporation for Economic Development. That that was a great hire that the Chamber of Commerce made.
He's a great guy. And so let me ask you, since I said Andrew was Irish only with an Italian name, McDougall, is that Irish or is that Scottish?
So Scottish. I just had my DNA done. And yeah, I sent it to my mother, the results. My dad was adopted, so we were always a little bit unsure, but she said, yes, of course you're Scottish. That's what we thought.
Of course you're Scottish.
Yeah, but a lot of other things too, Italian, Hungarian.
So you fit right into this area.
I do.
We're all a little mix of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about that old architecture, isn't it a shame that so many younger couples, younger people are looking for $500,000 homes out in the country that look like row houses instead of the wonderful architecture that we have in our towns?
We do. We have amazing architecture near all the downtowns of all the boroughs that
Beaver,
are in the
yeah, I
county.
mean,
Absolutely.
My goodness, there's some stately buildings there.
There are, and I think preserving that architectural heritage it's one of our gems and something we should focus on. And it's been a joy to me to preserve my house. I actually live in Coach Tarquinio's old house. He raised his family there, so
nice.
It's quite the honor to live in that house.
I went to Beaver High School and played on Tarquinio Field, so there we go.
You went to Beaver High
I
School?
went to Beaver High School, that's right.
Ah, okay. We talk about Coach Tarquinio quite a bit through DJ Fry. You probably know him
he
as
was
well.
our strength coach at the time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, another Italian.
Got a few of them out there. Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So you mentioned the local area. So I live over in Beaver Falls, so preserving those houses.
I was born and raised there.
Oh, fantastic.
So I know all about it.
Yeah, preserving those houses. I live in my great-grandparents' house, so preservation that's part of it. Like being a part of the area and just growing up here and then getting to live and work here is awesome.
Yeah, it's not much of a commute for
No,
you to
not
jump
bad
on
at all.
376 and get to Penn State Beaver campus.
Yep, I made that commute the first 2 years, commuted over to the Beaver campus. So as a student here back in 2010, and now being back as an employee and being able to be a part of the leadership and the mentors there, it's been a ton of fun to see that transition of student to like now actually serving the students.
And as Director of Development, what is it that you do?
So short and simple, I'm the campus fundraiser.
Okay.
So I'm here to help our students raise money for scholarships, special projects on campus, and we really are out here in the community and Penn State alumni really trying to find a way to learn your stories, learn your Penn State stories, and see how you can impact some of the next generation.
Yeah, and I was a fundraiser for, there were times when I was out of this business and I was a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society and the Beaver County Humane Society. It's not an easy task, but you have a product, Penn State and Penn State Beaver, to sell to people who want to make donations, probably a lot of alum in this area.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a part of us being connected to the community, people seeing the impact that we're making, and then hopefully getting excited about some of the new endeavors that we're doing, that they want to be a part of that action.
Yeah. And CAREY, tell me, why did you want to become the chancellor at Penn State Beaver?
Oh, gosh. That's such a good question. Because I love the campus. I love what we do. As I mentioned before, you know, we support students on an individual basis. When prospective students come onto campus with their parents, I always tell them, I say, you know, we will inspire you, we will challenge you, but most importantly, we will get to know you. And so growing up in a small town, I really value being part of a community where I know everybody. And I think we do a really good job of getting to know our students, meeting them where they're at. College students right now are coming out of a lot of challenges with the pandemic.
Oh, my goodness.
And yeah, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of mental health challenges. There's a lot of fiscal challenges. And so I think we do a really good job of helping pave a road to success for our students, for lifelong learning and great careers. And how could you not go home at the end of the day feeling good about what you're doing when that's what's at the center of our work? So.
And I guess you probably get up every morning and look in the mirror and say, "We are."
Yes.
She's starting to get the hang of that. The more she's around Penn Staters, you understand where you shout "We are," someone's going to answer Penn State.
I know. I expected now. We actually had a really wonderful graduation, and I expected our alumni officer who spoke to do the "We Are" chant, and he didn't, and I was actually disappointed. So.
He didn't quite have the enthusiasm
that
it should have. And maybe at some point you can bring a thon to Penn State Beaver.
Yes, that would be amazing.
That's very successful at main campus, huh? We're talking about fundraising millions of dollars.
Right, and we actually send 2 dancers mostly every year from the Beaver campus, and we did a little small fundraiser this year down at the Beaver train station. If you ever attended Cello Fury, but it was a fundraiser for Thon where we as the Beaver campus, Penn State alumni, were able to do our part in that large number that Thon ends up raising.
Sure, absolutely. And so as far as the student population at Penn State Beaver, it's amazing because I grew up in this area. So I know there were times when all the universities or colleges were separate from each other, all competing kind of for the student population. But in the last 15 or 20 years, they've all kind of worked together, whether we're talking about Geneva, CCBC, Robert Morris, and you go down the list, and Penn State Beaver. So you all kind of coordinate with one another. With CCBC students, they do their 2 years, and they're looking for someplace to get, their bachelor's degree, so they go to Penn State.
Yeah, and we actually have a alliance called Bridges and Pathways between Geneva, Penn State Beaver, and CCBC, so we can partner and make those pathways for students much clearer, right? So we want to make it really easy to go from CCBC to Penn State Beaver or to Geneva, so that those students can do that easily.
Yeah. And so when you go out to recruit students, is that part of what you do, Andrew?
So that was my former career in college admissions. We're all here to help serve students and get them excited about Penn State Beaver. But now my conversation is mainly with alumni. Not often am I on the day-to-day working with students, but anytime I get a chance to talk to a student about my Penn State experience, being at Beaver, being at University Park, I'm always happy. You cut me, I bleed blue and white. I'm happy to recruit a student to come to Penn State.
Very good. So if you're a Penn State alum, chances are you're going to get a letter or several letters from Andrew.
You definitely will. You'll get an invite to come out to our alumni events, come out to the local chapter events. We know there's a ton of Penn Staters in the Western PA and Pittsburgh area, and the more that we get to know you, the more that you can get connected with what we're doing at the Beaver campus.
And Andrew, you told me you grew up in Brighton Township.
That's right.
So right up the road somewhere from here.
I was about 4 minutes. I grew up about 4 minutes from here.
Okay,
So.
Very good. And then, so did you get some education at Penn State Beaver and then go to main campus?
Yeah, so I'm forever grateful to my dad for that. So he worked at the Beaver campus, and I got a 75% discount to go to Penn State. So
hey, it's nice to have connections.
Yeah, hopefully people can take advantage of that. But Penn State was not really my only option. I really didn't look for anywhere else. I knew that I'm going to Penn State.
Well, you said it's in your blood.
But who got me to come to Penn State, I would say, was Jack Hilfinger. People may know him in the county as the Whip.
Yeah.
He was the baseball coach over at our campus for a number of years, recruiting guys in a summer league for Beaver Falls Legion. We're playing against them. He stopped over and said, "Hey, you want to come play some baseball at the Beaver campus?" And the rest was history. So I'm forever grateful to him to get my education and being like a true Penn Stater here in the county.
That's interesting you bring up baseball because Penn State obviously has a very high profile and high standing in education. And Penn State Beaver as well with the students, but you don't always hear about the sports programs at Penn State Beaver. What do you have? You have baseball, you have basketball, you have volleyball, girls sports, women's sports.
So we have men's and women's soccer, we have men's and women's basketball, baseball for the men, women's or softball for the women, and then we're actually looking to add esports. That's going to be our newest
Explain
endeavor.
that to me.
So
I might be able to participate in
new
esports.
to the area, but yes, you can. It's a co-ed sport, all ages. You're playing in competitive gaming, so video games, all different types of sports are lined up, and that's our newest challenge, and we're hoping to bring that to the campus here in the next few years.
Now, people of my generation would probably scoff at that. What are you talking about? You go to school and do this? But that leads to bigger and better things with the AI technology, not only in aerospace endeavors, but just in everyday life. AI has, you've got to have some background in that.
Oh, for sure. It is, and I think it crosses no matter what major you are, you can come in and play esports. Yeah. And it creates this community that, hey, even though we're gaming, and you might think that's an individual, isolated thing, now you can game and compete together. And you're not just competing with people here in the county, you will be competing with people all across the country.
That's funny because, parents would say, get outside and play, get off of that game. And they're working joysticks and all this kind of stuff. And who knew they'd be working in aeronautics at NASA and places like that.
Yeah.
We actually have an alumni who is donating a Tesla Model 9 rocket to the campus. So we're going to have an example of that here at the Beaver campus to show off here to the community soon.
Very good.
So.
Okay, a lot to be to learn about, and we're going to learn a lot more about it in our conversation with the folks from Penn State Beaver. CAREY and Andrew are with us, and we'll continue our conversation on the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah. And she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700.
The Best of Beaver County, we are talking with the new Chancellor and Chief Academic Officer, CAREY McDougall. I'm saying Katie. That's an Irish or Scottish. Katie McDougall. CAREY McDougall is with us. She's the new Chancellor. Andrew DiPietrantonio is the Director of Development. I just have to break down but they're both from Penn State Beaver, telling us all about it. And what is this little piece of paper, the flyer you have in front of you now?
Yeah, you watched me flip that over. So our largest fundraising event for student scholarships is coming up in May. May 23rd, we have our wine and ale event. We have Borelli wine. Beaver Brewing will be pouring that night. But this
Beaver
is
Brewing.
My
that's good right. Friend Dan Woodsky.
There you go, Dan Woodsky.
Yeah, I know Dan well.
They'll be pouring at the event that evening.
Mm-hmm.
But it is our largest fundraiser. We have a ton of great giveaways, raffle items, wine pool. But our advisory board hosts this for the Beaver County community, but really to highlight Penn State Beaver in a way to bridge that gap for some of our students.
Yeah. So when is that going on?
So this is coming up Thursday, May 23rd.
Okay,
from
just
6
a couple
to 9,
weeks away.
Just a couple weeks away. Tickets are online. You can find those online, beaver.psu.edu/2024 wine tickets. Pretty easy for you to find. But really, the event's called In Good Taste. And it's our annual fundraiser for student scholarships. There'll be live music there, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and really just a chance for our dining hall to showcase their culinary expertise and get the community together.
Yeah, that's incredible. So where can people get information on this or tickets?
So you can find this on our website, on our Facebook page. Check us out on LinkedIn as well. And I think you can also hopefully we'll be sharing this on your page as well too. Mm-hmm. But it just went out through the Chamber of Commerce invite this morning. So anywhere in the county that you can find this information, but our website is the best place to find information about Penn State Beaver.
Do you have to be an alumni from Penn State Beaver?
You do not.
No. Anybody in the community?
Anyone. We'd love to have you there, Mike. I think it's a great community event just to see people who are supporting the college.
Yeah, and it's May 23rd?
May 23rd.
Okay, and it runs from what time?
From 6 to 9.
6 to 9. Have you already had your commencement exercises?
We did. We had it last weekend, and it was wonderful. One of our alum, Maura Francis, spoke. She was a psychology major from the greater Pittsburgh area, and she went on to get her doctorate at St. John's, and now she's a practicing clinical psychologist. And so it was exciting to see that story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so earlier you were talking about some of the programs you have to meet the needs of students in psychology. You're talking about that aspect of it as well. So this feeds right into it.
Yes, yeah.
And you have psychology programs?
Yep, we have a psychology degree. They can get a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. And so that's a very popular degree. I think students coming out of COVID are seeing that mental health is a really important field of study, and they want to give back to their community in that way. So psychology's become more popular. We also have a biology degree, which is great. And then we have a bunch of STEM degrees. We have computer science, information technology, cybersecurity. So we have a nice array of degrees that I think hits a wide population of interests.
I have a 6-year-old grandson, first grader. They're doing STEM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in the schools.
Yep.
I remember when this first came in, and they were talking about science, technology, math, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you would think, well, okay, when's that going to come? But they're teaching them at the very youngest ages.
Yeah, we need to get them excited at a really
Mm-hmm.
early age. And middle school is where people start to think about, like, what am I good at? What am I excited about? And we're almost finding in high school it's a little bit too late to get people excited about things because they already have an idea of
Mm-hmm.
what they're excited about in middle school. So that's great that it's happening in K through 5.
And CAREY, you mentioned that you had commencement exercises last weekend,
Yeah.
but now high school students, if they haven't already, they're getting mail, not from you, probably not from you, right, Andrew?
Not from me. Not this time
But
around.
they've gone to their guidance counselors. They've gotten all the information. They're looking at
Yeah.
different colleges. Why would I choose Penn State Beaver?
So I think it's a really nice combination of that you get all of the excellence of a large Big Ten university, but you get it catered to you on an individual basis at a small campus where we are not going to let you slip through any of the cracks or challenges that college students face today. And so we're going to meet you right where you're at, and we're going to help you succeed. And I think so you can finish your degree at Penn State Beaver, but the 2+2 program that Andrew and Maura, who I just spoke of, or Maura stayed her 4 years here. The 2+2 program is a great option. You can start, get your feet wet, learn how to do college really well at a small campus, and then if you want the large campus experience, go to University Park or go to Barron or Altoona
I was
for
going
the
to
last
say
2 years.
the difference, because sometimes when students are leaving high school,
Mm-hmm.
small high school, Western Beaver, Beaver
Yep.
Falls, New Brighton, the idea of going to main campus
Yep.
is daunting. It's so
Absolutely.
big. It's a city unto itself.
Yep.
I don't know if I can make it there. I'm away from my family.
Yeah.
So they started Penn State Beaver.
Yeah, and they can reside on campus. Our residence halls are newly renovated and really lovely. And the cost savings going to a campus is significant, almost a third less. So I think there's a lot of advantages.
Do they mostly commute?
I'd say we have about 25% of our students who do live on campus, but it still is a heavy commuter population. But what's nice is it does make that transition from high school to college that much smoother. There's people who know you on a first name basis. You really get to intentionally know them, not just at your time as a student, but even when you go to University Park or you come back to campus, people know who you are.
Yeah.
So I think that makes such an impact in those students' lives, is just to see like familiar faces where you're in a class of maybe 13 to 15 students instead of my first experience was in a class of 300 students when I went up to University Park.
Yeah.
So you just love to know your professors and the people that you're with.
Yeah.
And some of the other advantages are students can do undergraduate research at our campus where you might not be able to do that at University Park or a larger campus until maybe you're a senior. And then I think our athletic programs to be able to, engage in athletics and be a starting player your first year is
Yeah.
Right, you get to continue your career.
Yeah.
Like you think, okay, after high school, maybe I'm not going to get a chance to continue to play. But even though it was only 2 years for me, those are some of your best friends still to this day. You get to keep in contact with those guys as they take those next steps in their
Yeah.
life.
Is it important because of how important high school athletics are in the Beaver County area to be able to offer those sports programs?
absolutely.
Definitely,
absolutely.
we'd love to add more. I think that would be a goal for us, is if we can create that robust athletics program. Part of our gym renovations, we have brand new locker rooms. So bringing those facilities up to speed, where some of the facilities in the high school, like the high school area right now, are incredible. And so now we need to match what they're also receiving, what they received those last 4 years.
And I think our athletes get the most out of college, right? They get excellent academics. They have an excellent experience in athletics. And we have a new program. We call it our academic athlete liaison, where we have a person on staff who makes sure that our students are doing well, our athletes are doing well academically, in addition to what the coaches do too. So they almost maximize their college experience by being athletes.
And that's always been one of the things that concerns parents, perhaps, is that student athlete, he's being scouted because of his her athletic prowess, but they're falling through the cracks academically.
Yes, yeah, and I would say that does not happen at our campus because we care so much for them to succeed. And Our our director of athletics just emailed me our GPAs for all of our teams, and I think all of our teams had above 3.0 GPAs this year, which is outstanding. So there's a lot of care and concern that goes in there to support them.
Small percentage of college athletes will ever go into the pros, so they better get an education.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
for sure.
You know
Yeah.
about that. So I want to take a tour of the campus. My child, son or daughter, is interested in going. We're going to go around and take tours. How do I go about setting something up like that at Penn
Yeah,
State?
so you can just, Google our campus, Google the main number, Google Penn State Beaver admissions, call anybody at the campus, and we will set you up with a tour whenever it's convenient for you. We'd love to have you on campus. We can do an individual tour for you and your family.
Yeah. What else do people need to know besides the fact that you're going to be sending them letters if they're alumni, going to the food, wine, and fun event? Or what do people need to know as the director of development, what they'll face coming onto campus?
So I think a lot of it is just come back and see how much has changed over the years.
Yeah.
Even I was a student in 2010 and left in 2012, and then I came back and saw these incredible changes.
Yeah.
So it's fun for me to invite like even an alumni who was there in 72 come back to walk through campus and hadn't been back in probably 30 years, just to see how much it's changed, to hear those stories. So I invite alumni to come back, walk around campus, take a trip down memory lane, and I think that's important. And then also getting involved in, hey, there's Penn State events going on in the community. Would love to see you there. We'd love to get to know you. Whether you went to University Park or you went to the Barron campus, we'd like to see you at these Penn State events.
Yeah, very good. And CAREY, as far as becoming chancellor, you obviously had a vision for the future for Penn State Beaver. How did you express that to the interviewers?
Oh, gosh. So, our focus is student success, and then also we need to expand our community impact. So we have our Launchbox, which offers free entrepreneurial programming in Beaver Falls. That's in the Beehive building that the Corporation for Economic Development renovated for
Our
that
station
purpose.
used to be right across the street.
That's
We watched
right.
them
Yes,
building
that's
it.
Yeah, and so, one of the ways that we need to grow is to further our community impact in Southwest PA. So our workforce development program through continuing ed is a great impact driver in the community, wanting to help nonprofits and for-profits business industry advance their working staff. And so we're looking forward to do more and more of that. One of our recent growth spots on campus is we renovated our largest classroom building, which is a top-notch facility right now with really flexible classroom spaces and meeting spaces, and then top-end technology for learning. And so we're hoping to get more and more businesses and groups to want to come on campus to hold their meetings there too. So to go out into the community and have an impact, but also to bring people on campus who aren't just Penn State alums, but to bring the community on campus and be a resource for them.
And if I'm a parent, I say, what is your success ratio? If my child picks this master or this degree, how do I know if they're going to be able to get a job when they're finished?
Oh, they're definitely going to be able to get a job because Penn State has the largest alumni association
That's
in
right.
the world. It is huge. I think it's 350,000 or 450,000 people. The network of Penn State alums is significant. We have an advisory board that is all top-notch industry players who are constantly making connections for our students. We have a mentorship program where we put pair some of our students with some of our advisory board members for internships or just connections, and they're landing jobs in those companies. So we pave a really strong pathway to help those students. If they want a job in a certain field, we will help them do that.
And it's a community. Freshmen are coming in, and they're not going to feel like outcasts.
No.
Everything is a community.
Yes.
Yeah. And continuing to build the campus
Yes.
on Monaca.
And the way we designed our new general classroom building was to help students feel a sense of belonging, that this is where they should be, and that they feel like they're included in a larger community. And I think we do that really successfully.
Wonderful. Go to the website,
Yes.
Andrew. Go to the website, find out more information.
Go to the website
about all this stuff.
Find out more information, but also feel free to reach out to us. We would love to personally host you on campus,
Yes.
to sit down with you, have a coffee. We actually get to host the Chamber's hosting a speed networking thing June 7th. So a lot of members in the county will get to check out our campus.
Good, very good. So if you're a student or soon to be a student and you want to wear that nice Penn State logo on your jersey, And there you go. Go and talk to Andrew and CAREY. CAREY McDougall is the Chancellor and Chief Academic Officer. Andrew DiPietrantonio.
Nice.
Close enough?
You did it.
We'll count it.
Director of Development at Penn State Beaver. This has been the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Best of Beaver County. St. Barnabas is pleased to have provided content and sponsorship for the program. Tune in this Sunday at 11:30 for an encore presentation of today's program on Beaver County Radio. And next Thursday at 11 for another edition of the Best of Beaver County on WBVP, WMBA, and 99.3 FM.
The Beaver County Office on Aging is calling all seniors to attend Senior Day from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 15th at the Beaver Valley Mall in Monaca. Bloomfield Pharmacy is offering RSV, COVID, pneumonia, and shingles immunizations. Bring your health insurance cards and photo ID. All participants will receive a t-shirt and bottled water from Aetna Medicare Solutions. Ameriprise Financial will provide donuts and coffee. Stop by the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank Garden and Demo area and enter to win a $200 Lowe's gift card. Plus, there will be food demos, tech help, manicures, and much more. You don't want to miss it.
You're busy, no time to cook, you're hungry, and the kids are too. Don't stress. Make it a McDonald's dinner tonight. Download the app.